Hi everyone, this is just a short video looking at the new Funding Agency Explorer in Insights. You're going to find the Funding Agency Explorer alongside all the other explorers for people in regions and research areas on the Analytics tab. When I click on the Funding Agency icon, that takes me into the Explorer by Funding Agency. Like I mentioned in my email, we have unified approximately 500 funding agency names. All the funding agency name information comes from the Web of Science core collection data, where we've indexed the funding acknowledgement text in the sciences since 2008 and in the social sciences since 2015. So here it says results 496. What that means is that I'm looking at 496 funding agency names. Now, one of the differences about the funding agency name in Insights, in the Web of Science, there is a lot of ambiguity around funding agency name. So you might see a couple different versions of the NIH or the U.S. Department of Energy, the acronym and the full name spelled out. What we've been doing for Insights, though, is unifying that funding agency name information. So to the best of our ability, we have been trying to take what was listed in the publication and establish a standard name for that funding organization. Now here when I'm looking at the United States Department of Energy, DOE, I can see that funding agency was acknowledged on 96,940 publications. So that's, that agency name was found on that many publications. Now this is the entire kind of listing of all the agency information and the total publications from that agency. Over here on the left-hand side, I can see that I have filters that I can apply. So I can actually go in here and filter by organization name, where I want to see if there is a particular organization that has received funding. So Drexel University, I apply that filter, and I can see what agencies have funded research where there's at least one occurrence of Drexel University as the affiliation on that paper. Now that's an important kind of distinction to keep in mind. So here I see National Science Foundation, NSF, 1,315 publications. That means there's 1,315 publications where the NSF was acknowledged as a funder of that research, and Drexel University was listed as at least once as an affiliation on that publication. Doesn't necessarily mean that the NSF directly funded a researcher at Drexel University. So again, the relationship is the funder to the paper and the institution to the paper, not necessarily the funder directly to the institution. Now I can drill down into this information here where it says 1,315. I can click on that link and it shows me the publications listed. And when I'm looking at these publications, if I drill one step further, clicking on the title, this takes me over to the Web of Science article. And when I'm looking at the Web of Science article, what I should see is that all the authors listed, at least one of those authors is from Drexel University. So I should see Drexel University listed at least once in the affiliation field. The funding information is also displayed on that record, so I can see funding agency name and grant number where available. And where that information is indexed from is from the funding acknowledgement text. So the funding acknowledgement text as provided with that article, that's what we capture. And then we create this table showing me the funding agency name and the grant number when available. Again, that information coming from the Web of Science is pulled over into Insights. We begin indexing that number, that information, not across all years of data, but from 2008 to the present in the sciences, 2015 to the present in the social sciences. I can also apply other filters. One of the other filters I can apply is looking at research areas here. So I have my Web of Science research areas. I can type in mathematics or management or one of these other topics, or select a range of topics, and then click Update Results. And then that will then limit my funding agency, takes Drexel out of the equation, and now I'm looking at research published in journals that we have categorized as neuroimaging, and what are the agencies found on those publications. So again, this is a new Explorer. All this data can be exported just like you have been able to export in the past. So export the visualization or exporting the actual data table, available for this Explorer as well. So if you do have any questions about this, please feel free to contact me.